Hello, this is the Deep Frame Podcast. Today, I want to talk about something that quietly controls more lives than politics, money, algorithms, or even fear itself. And most people don't even realize it's happening while it's happening. This isn't technology. It isn't a conspiracy. It isn't something external. It's internal. It's psychological, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's what's known as the struggle switch. Almost nobody talks about this directly, but almost everybody lives inside it. The struggle switch is what flips on the moment something inside you feels uncomfortable. Anxiety, fear, shame, rage, sadness, a memory, a thought you don't want. A sensation you don't like. The instant it shows up, something in your mind says, this shouldn't be here. And without realizing it, you go to war with your own internal experience. That war feels justified. It feels logical. It feels necessary. But it's the exact thing that turns manageable discomfort into long-term suffering. Here's the part that messes people up. The pain itself isn't usually the problem. The resistance to the pain is. Think about it. Pain shows up and immediately the mind reacts. Why am I feeling this? I shouldn't feel this way. This means something is wrong with me. I need to get rid of this right now. And suddenly, on top of the original feeling, you've stacked up frustration, self-judgment, fear about the feeling, and a desperate need to escape it. That's the struggle switch turning on. And once it's on, everything intensifies. Anxiety becomes anxiety about anxiety. Sadness becomes shame about sadness. Fear becomes panic about fear. The original emotion might have passed on its own, but now it's trapped because you're fighting it. This is why people say things like, I don't know why this won't go away, or I've tried everything to stop feeling like this. The harder they try, the worse it gets. Not because they're weak, not because they're broken, but because they're doing exactly what the mind is wired to do. And the wiring is flawed. The mind treats internal discomfort like an external threat. If something hurts physically, you pull away. If something threatens you externally, you fight or flee. The problem is that the internal experiences don't work that way. You can't punch a thought. You can't outrun a feeling. You can't outrun a feeling. You can't suppress an emotion without it resurfacing somewhere else, louder. That's where the metaphor matters. Imagine quicksand, the instinct to struggle, thrash, panic. But that struggle is exactly what pulls you under. The way out is counterintuitive. You stop fighting. You spread out. You let the surface support you. It feels wrong at first, but it works. Internal pain is the same. When the struggle switch is on, you're adding what some psychologists call dirty discomfort. That's all the extra suffering layered on top of the original feeling. The self-attack, the mental arguing, the constant monitoring, the obsession with getting rid of it. When the switch is off, you're left with clean discomfort. And clean discomfort is survivable. It's uncomfortable, but it's not consuming. It moves, it breathes, it rises and falls. Most people have never experienced clean discomfort for more than a few seconds because the mind immediately flips the switch back on. So what does turning it off actually mean? It doesn't mean liking the feeling. It doesn't mean agreeing with it. It doesn't mean surrendering your values or giving up control of your life. It means dropping the fight with reality. It means recognizing that the feeling is already there. And fighting it isn't preventing it, it's feeding it. The moment you notice, I'm struggling with this feeling, something powerful happens. You create distance. You stop out of the emotion and observe the process. That alone weakens it. Then instead of tightening, you expand. You make room for the sensation, not in a poetic way, in a physical way. Where is it in your body, your chest, your stomach, your jaw? You let it exist without trying to change it. You stop narrating it. You stop labeling it as dangerous or unacceptable. This is where people get it wrong. They think acceptance means passivity. It doesn't. Acceptance is strategic. It's choosing not to waste energy on a losing battle so you can use that energy where it actually matters. When you stop fighting an emotion, it loses its second layer of fuel. It's no longer being reinforced by fear of itself. And without that reinforcement, it does what emotions are designed to do. It moves. This is why people who learn this skill often say things like, "It's still there, but it doesn't control me," or "It feels intense, but I can function." That's not suppression, that's psychological flexibility. And this matters far beyond mental health. This is about how people get radicalized, manipulated, addicted, reactive, and controlled. A population that doesn't know how to sit with internal discomfort is easy to steer. You agitate them emotionally, flip their struggle switch on, and they'll do anything to make the feeling stop, even if it means abandoning logic, values, or long-term consequences. This is why outrage works. This is why fear campaigns work. This is why people cling to narratives that give them emotional relief instead of truth. The mind wants resolution, not accuracy. If you can't tolerate internal discomfort, you'll outsource your thinking to whoever promises certainty. That's why mastering this internally is power. Turning the struggle switch off doesn't make you weak, it makes you dangerous in the best way. Because you're no longer predictable, you're not reacting, you're not responding. You can feel anger without becoming reckless, fear without becoming submissive, sadness without collapsing, doubt without spiraling. And here's the part nobody tells you. This isn't something you do once and you're cured. The switch flips on automatically. The practice is noticing and turning it off again and again. Sometimes hundreds of times a day. That's not failure, that's mastery. Every time you choose not to fight what's already here, you reclaim energy. Every time you allow discomfort to exist without letting it run the show, you strengthen the part of you that isn't controlled by impulse. And over time, something shifts. The emotions don't disappear, but they stop feeling like emergencies. That's the real freedom. Not the absence of pain, not the elimination of fear, but the ability to remain grounded while they pass through. That's the struggle switch. And once you understand it, you stop living at war with yourself. That's the deep frame.